Ah, beautiful friends, beautiful souls. I hope that you're all having an amazing day so far. So, what type of craziness has the world been dealing with over the past week? Which predictions, if any, have come into fruition? And even more importantly, which predictions are still waiting at our doorstep to come into fruition? This and a whole lot more to talk about on a day packed with information, starting with going back to 2016. You may recall the very disturbing visions that I shared with you in my 2017 predictions. Disturbing visions about this very dark, deep, underground activity that's happening with horrific things going on right beneath our own feet. I even said back in 2016 that eventually small tunnels leading to the massive underground dark web would see the light of day. Well, as you may be familiar with already, in New York City, creepy tunnels were discovered underneath of a synagogue, now being concrete shut, and law enforcement arrived, arresting several people, and I'm going to reveal to you what's actually going on in the disturbing footage and creepy footage discoveries, and more predictions revolved around the underground dark evil that goes on right beneath our feet. A world totally gone mad for sure. In the past, I had visions and spoke about a year of massive explosions, gas line explosions, oil refinery explosions, and others that would be caused, of course, by conflict. I also warned of tensions increasing between South Korea and North Korea. Over the past week, a massive explosion rocked South Korea from a gas line leak, including tensions now arising between North Korea and South Korea. So is this going to ignite into something else bigger? Is Kim Jong-un really have a strong desire to be a part of a conflict? I'll give you a hint. He certainly does. And that's not good for his neighbors, or for any of us, for that matter. Netanyahu now claims that his conflict is America's conflict, as the Biden administration sends thousands of troops to Syria and other parts of the Middle East. So what is this all about, friends? Why is the United States, why is this their conflict, or our conflict, because I am in the United States, even though it's all centered around Israel and what happened that horrific day in October? Will the U.S. actually go into a conflict in the near future with a combination of both Iran and Yemen and Syria? If so, when exactly? I'll give you a hint. I'm sure it'll be right before the elections take place in the United States. When I say chemtrails, are you one of those ones that scream back, it's a conspiracy? Chemtrails actually have a technical name, several technical names, one of them referred to as geoengineering, stratospheric aerosol injection, and there's also cloud seeding. But folks, even in the government, deny the existence of planes spraying these toxic chemicals, forming these trails throughout our skies above. Even though now also, they've done soil tests, days following seeing the chemtrails, and found high amounts of toxic metals like barium and aluminum particles in the soil samples, and even in the water samples as well. So, what's that all about? Because many claim that chemtrails are a combination of barium, aluminum, and other particles, all heavy metals, covering our skies. So is this really a conspiracy? And are the trails covering our skies simply just contrails? Then why has one state already lined up to ban them from doing it within their state, along with another state that's now joining in on the ban, and not to mention other countries don't allow it at all? When I was in Peru for 2 weeks, the skies were beautiful and clear except on a rainy day. Didn't see anything like that. When I mentioned it to the shamans there, they said they don't allow that in that country. And it's a fact. But I'm going to tell you about this new legislature that's very concerning, especially for those who believe that this is all just a conspiracy. If you believe that, and even if you don't, you are not going to want to miss that segment today. It's not just the United States that's fighting against geoengineering practices either. It's also our friends down under in Australia, mate. And they are joining the fight. And I have some interesting information to share for our friends down there in Australia. Earthquake activity has flared up once again, with a swarm of earthquakes occurring in Oklahoma, United States. Of all places. But why Oklahoma? Also, you remember at the turn of the new year, the 7.6 quake that hit off the coast of Japan soon after that new year kicked in. And now experts have discovered that the quake actually shifted the coast of Japan. So is Japan moving? Will it really slide into the sea as the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce had predicted? Is there more proof, or is this more proof, that the poles are actually shifting? I mentioned that on my live show last night, and of course I got the comments, oh, it's a conspiracy, oh, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's a fact. And we know that it's a fact, that the poles are shifting. If you do your research, and you don't have to look far, scientists have already said it's shifting about 7 miles per year. That's pretty concerning, friends. Pretty concerning. It's moving faster and faster. So it's actually happening. Could this actually have something to do with the comet Apophis? And if so, why would a comet have anything to do with this? We should expect and also what you should expect in the near future when it comes to earthquakes, along with a dream that I just had recently. A dream followed by consistent visions of a massive wave smashing against the coastline. But where exactly? We're going to talk about that today. Trump won in Iowa, but will he win the 2024 elections? And who could it possibly be? Who could the candidate be that's going to suddenly jump in the race against him? Because the Spirit told us there'd be another that would jump in last minute. Well, we're pretty much at that last minute. I want to know who you think it might be. I'll give you a hint. I believe it's a celebrity. One celebrity versus another, it is all just a reality show, right? Speaking of elections, in Taiwan, the election results are in. And China's not happy at all because China warned Taiwanese people to vote for peace or vote for conflict. And apparently, in China's eyes, they voted for conflict. We're going to talk about that and my visions that I've had in the past of an early morning attack on a coastline. Who could the victim be? Could there be several? And is one of them Taiwan? Remember my visions in 2024 and the warning that vehicles would be used to plow through innocent bystanders? Sadly, this just occurred in Israel, claiming at least one of the innocent, actually an elderly woman, while I think 7 others were injured. Is there more to come? And what about my predictions of vehicles being hacked and used as weapons? Is that something we're going to see soon? We're now being told that 1,500 lives are being claimed in the United States every day from the 2020 bug. Were you aware of that? And respiratory issues and other respiratory things, but 1,500 a day. All while the WEF, the W, the E, and the F, conducts more of their creepy meetings, the Davos meetings or whatever they call them. Very creepy. This time at their meetings, they're calling for what they're referring to as Disease X. What the heck is that, friends? What the heck is Disease X? First, they tell us last year at their meetings, or their last meetings that they did, that we were going to get a huge major cyber attack. But now in these meetings, they're talking about Disease X. So which one is it? Which one's going to come first? Or are they both going to come together? Or even better yet, maybe they don't come absolutely at all. The cartel I predicted was going to break out in cartel wars. Those cartel wars are actually now breaking out. And Guy Fieri, the chef, threw Whoopi Goldberg out of his restaurant. All that and a whole lot more today on episode number 100. Can you believe it, friends? 100 celebration today of Tuesday's Predictions Update.
And y'all know what time it is? It's tea time, baby.
Satnam, welcome, hola, beautiful friends, beautiful souls. I hope you're having a beautiful day so far. If you're new here, my name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT. And each and every Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, depending on when I can get this out, we go over top stories, how they may or may not relate to prophecies and predictions, with new predictions each and every week. So if you want accurate predictions, prophecy, and truth, and you want to be a part of this awesome tribe, don't forget to smash that subscribe. Thank you for showing your love by clicking that like button because it takes a lot of time and effort to put this out for you. If you're not going to click it, then don't click at all, but please click the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. As much as I appreciate each and every one of you and all the supporters who make this free content possible for everybody else. I couldn't do it without you, and I thank you with imminent love and gratitude. Down below, you'll find the link to all my social media, including my Awaken Your Spirit community and the newsletter. Click on that, subscribe so that you know what's going on. I have some upcoming classes, my master class, which is almost full. I think there's only one slot left. I have my transform class. It starts next week. So check it out. My website is spiritmanjt.com. spiritmanjt.com. If you get a message on social media from somebody posing to be me, it is not me. I've told people this over and over and over again. And I wish people would just directly contact me at my office at josephtittel.com or my website instead of sending money and gift cards to these strange scammers that are scamming you. I will never personally message you on any social media platform ever. So it's not me, friends. So shall we move on with Tea Time episode number 100. Today is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, and I'm coming at you from Sedona, Arizona. Paradise, baby, paradise. So last week, on the 11th, we had those major activation light codes that came washing over our planet. Together, this is bringing us to the next level of consciousness and the next level of the awakening. Everyone experiences this quite differently. While most of us may feel a bit more tired than usual, and you may notice that you've been very thirsty lately, dehydrated. Remember, it is so important, always, of course, but especially now, to drink plenty of water when these light codes are coming in, again, especially during times of ascension. And that's why you may be even thirsty in the middle of the night and have to get up and go tinkle in the middle of the night quite often. That's okay. Drink the water. Your body needs it and wants it. It helps all the energy to flow within your body when these energies are coming in. And remember, meditation's the key. If you missed my meditation on calling your power back, I'm going to make sure a link pops up here somewhere. Keep an eye out for it, and you're going to want to do that meditation. These energies could have you also feeling a bit ADHD and all over the place. So this is all the more important that it is to stay grounded through meditation and connecting with nature and the earth. If you're in a warm area, go out and walk around barefoot on the earth. This grounds our energy. I noticed they even have grounding sheets now. I don't know how realistic that is, but I thought that was an interesting concept. Sheets that ground. It's probably interesting, right? I like lying on the ground if it wasn't so darn hard to sleep in a tent. But light codes come in very quickly. And this affects us in different ways, like I said. And even though these light codes come in so very quickly, their effects sink in much more slowly. Very slowly, actually. Just as we see truth being exposed, it's exposed very slowly. These ascension codes are the same thing. Also, it needs to be a slow process. Otherwise, we would be like a circuit board and completely short out. Just like if all the truth was exposed at once, people would go into shock, therefore shorting them out like a circuit board. You may also notice that when we receive these large downloads, like we have been currently receiving since the 11th, and processing these codes at the same time, we're often in the world, I notice this, larger events start to happen, like larger drops of truth, and often several global catastrophic events. Therefore, I would tell you all to expect some of these huge events to take place by the end of this month, and especially between the 22nd of January and the 26th, including a large earthquake and a potential small tsunami occurring on or around January 25th. Again, a very large earthquake occurring that may actually at least set off tsunami warnings. Hopefully the tsunami don't come. And I had a vision about a tsunami I'll tell you about in a little bit. So I saw this all happening right around, I believe, the 25th, on the 25th or on or around the 25th. Something to keep our eyes out for. I remind you again that 2024 is power to the people, and it's important that we step into our own power too. Calling back our power is so important, no matter how horrible the world events may be, this is all part of even the greater awakening, and this is eventually going to bring humanity together as we step onto the new earth. So we must be prepared and always be prepared. And also be the resistance so that your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, will be thanking you in the future. Instead of saying, why didn't you do anything? Why did you allow that to happen? Do you want your grandkids and great-grandkids to say that? Even if you're on your great-great-grandkids, when you're in the heavens, you want to hear their prayers saying, great-great-grandma, why'd you allow that to happen? Why did you not become a part of the resistance? Now we have it so bad. Just think about that. It's important to step into your power. And I have no doubt that everybody will. Well, not everybody, but the majority, the masses will. They already are. But again, that meditation will help you greatly. A reminder that your thoughts and your words are the blueprints to your future. What you focus on, down to your greatest fears, become a reality. And they only become a reality because you make it a reality. So let us together create a future reality where all of humanity comes together and we work together to make this a better world for ourselves and for the future of our children, grandchildren, and great-granny kids, and so forth. So let us begin today with the deep, dark, evil underground.
What lies deep down beneath our feet? It is evil and darkness unlike anything you could imagine.
I can't help myself. But you may recall, going back to 2016, or at least that's when my meditation was, and the visions I'm pretty sure I shared with you on my New Year's Day world predictions for 2017. So you can go back. That was the same video where I saw people wearing masks on their face and a lot of other things too. And it might have even been a year prior to that, but I'm pretty sure it was 2017. Because that's when it was right before I went to Peru that I had these visions, I believe. And these visions that I saw of what goes on underground is so horrific. It's worse than the movie and the horror movie Saw. Horrific things that go on beneath our feet. Everything from harvesting, and I'm not talking vegetables either. Everything from that and people being lined up and all kinds of ceremonies and wild stuff that goes on beneath our feet. And I told you about small tunnels that lead to the bigger, massive underground tunnels and the dark, dark web that lies again beneath our feet. I told you that it would see the light of day some point in the future. Except no one would have ever imagined that these tunnels, 60 feet in length, would be discovered at a famous New York address. 770 Eastern Parkway, headquarters of the Orthodox Jewish Hagag, I hope I said that right, Habag organization. The most famous Jewish building in the country, once ran by a very famous rabbi.
Religious leader, Rabbi Menachem Schneerson. He died in 1994, but remains such a powerful symbol that a group of students here seemed convinced the late Rebbe had commanded them to expand the basement synagogue, subject of a decades-long real estate dispute.
A fight broke out and several people were arrested when police showed up to close off the tunnel and seal it with concrete. Footage has gone viral along with a ton of accusations and even hatred towards the synagogue, which not all the members of this synagogue or the leaders were aware of this tunnel. At least they claimed they weren't. And it was actually the leaders, or one of the leaders, that contacted the police. Check this out. There have been so many rumors revolved around this tunnel discovery, everything from baby height chairs to soiled sheets and small child beds. This would not have even been remotely close, actually, to what Spirit has showed me in the past visions back in 2016. What I saw was more like, if you remember the Faces of Death horror movie, or it wasn't even a movie, it was more like documentaries. They were crazy. It was more like that underneath, some of like that underneath. Things that you couldn't even possibly or ever would possibly want to imagine happens. Spirit also shows me separate tunnel systems. And I got this today. I found it interesting. There's separate layers to these tunnel systems for different levels of darkness. The deeper you go, the darker it becomes, literally, with the evil. So the darkest of evil digs deeper than all the rest. For example, the cartel drug smuggling tunnels are the most shallow of the tunnel systems, according to Spirit. While there are other levels below that are for the harvesting factory, levels for the people that are lined up, and levels for their worship, and even a transport level for the evil elite, which Spirit showed me is still under construction. So this would be like high-speed railway. You know, some of it runs, but it's still being constructed according to Spirit today. These tunnel systems will slowly be revealed, as some are currently about to be explored in some countries by the good guys in the military, according to Spirit. Not here in the United States, though. Just for whatever reason. Not yet, anyway. I see one instance where someone follows a group, like social media people, follow a group underground and catches footage of worship and even a sacrifice that takes place in these places. Sometimes we just have to sacrifice ourselves to accomplish our goals and dreams. But on a real level, of course, such footage, once released, will be completely called hoaxes, and anything and everything will be done to get the masses to not at all believe that such evil exists beneath our feet. I believe this incident may be in Europe, perhaps in the UK. And they were kind of like kids. I don't know if they were like little kids. No, probably maybe teenagers or maybe somebody in their 20s. Not sure. But Spirit showed me the vision. But they don't want to get caught because they get caught. And they are going to get caught once they expose it, but that's going to be scrubbed from the internet very, very quickly. So, when you first hear about this, know that there's big truth that lies beneath it and with all of it. We also know about the tunnels used by Hamas, which Spirit confirms are pretty shallow compared to the depth of the elite cabal tunnels. The discovery and destruction of the Hamas tunnels actually ignites this global exposure of tunnels and the evil that has been done beneath in these tunnels. Even in China, such dark, horrific systems exist. And Spirit says at the deepest level, they all connect to each other like a big spider web. Spirit also reminded me that many people believe it's aliens living beneath us. And perhaps, you may call them aliens, but don't aliens come from outer space? Illegal aliens come across borders? So what would we call the Earth beings? Illegal aliens if they come to the surface? What would you call them? But Spirit showed me that people think it's the aliens and that the military is working with the dark branches of the military, like Black Ops, for example. That is the dark branch, hence the Black Ops and the black helicopters. They are the people that they want us to believe that they're aliens. But in reality, my feeling and what Spirit was showing me is that they are demons that are spoken about in prophecy. And that's where they're all connected. Not all the ones that are up above, but the ones that are down below, for sure. So, interesting. So they're not space aliens. They're Earth aliens. Inner Earth aliens. A world gone mad for sure. So you're probably asking, what exactly was that all about in that synagogue in New York City? And I don't quite connect that at all with the darkness of the tunnels that I just discussed with you. They're more of the shallow tunnels. And yeah, there's some sinister things that were happening under there, including practicing some type of ancient high magic type of ceremonies. And Spirit shows me it's mainly the younger group that got involved and delved into this end of the darkness. It goes beyond the Kabbalah. It goes beyond all that. It's high magic. And that's what Spirit shows me. And of course, yes, they use those for different levels of abuse, of course, as well. But nothing in comparison to what really lies beneath. A world gone mad indeed. A world gone mad. And speaking about going mad, check out this here photo. This is a photo of Yemen. And of the people of Yemen coming together in the streets. And I can't really tell you exactly what they're chanting, but you can use your imagination. Use your imagination because it's sadly filled with so much hatred towards America and towards Israel. And this is indeed, my friends, a very, very negative, not so good sign. to see all these people taken to the streets of Yemen. A huge conflict with Yemen will soon ignite, according to Spirit. Troops will invade in the dark of night around 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. I asked when, and it might not be for a few more months. And, I was looking back today at past conflicts like World War II, I, so forth. I noticed a majority of them usually ignite in the late summer months, July. I think World War II was in July. Some of them in September. So it seems to be in that period between like July, August, September, October. And then some in the new year, like what happened with UKR and what Russia did. I think that was like early January when that occurred. I was trying to see if there was a pattern to it with the numbers and the years. And there wasn't. I couldn't find one. Because I think it was World War II was in a 6-year. And I think the other one was in a 4-year or vice versa. But I just wanted to see if there was any correlation with the numbers or anything that I could find. And I could not. In the past, I had visions and I spoke about a year of massive explosions. Gas line explosions, oil refinery explosions, and others caused by conflict. I also warned of tensions increasing between South Korea and North Korea. Look at this massive explosion over the past week that rocked South Korea, claiming at least 5 people's lives. Notice as you look at this, the fog on the ground. I thought that was so friggin' creepy how the fog was on the ground right before this massive blow that came from a petrol gas leak. It seems there have already been way too many home explosions related to gas, especially here in the United States. It seems like every week we're seeing one. And even a hotel explosion from a gas leak that happened in Fort Worth, Texas at the beginning of the year. So what's going on with all these explosions? It's kind of a little weird, right? It's kind of like this 8 vibration of 2024 is explosive. Spirit just said it is, and it shall be. So Spirit says that there's going to be more to come. Some much, much larger than we're used to seeing and witnessing. Soon we are going to also witness attacks of sorts using petrol and liquid gas as targets. Poland rings into my head, and I would tell our friends in Poland to beware of incoming large explosions of gas facilities and even the sabotage of their pipelines. And, Spirit just said, and communications. So I don't know, but if there's some kind of communications coming in from outside of Poland into Poland, they will be severed. If not, then there's something else happening with their communications in Poland. It could actually be a hack as well. But Spirit keeps showing me clip, like somebody's clipping the lines or something. So warning to our friends in Poland for sure. Many more to come, Spirit says. I also, speaking of pipelines, I see a pipeline shattered. And it looked like I was remote, like in a beautiful place, actually, unfortunately. And I saw it like shattered or broke, kind of like a pipe exploding, like a water pipe. And I saw crude oil flooding out in all directions. It was awful, actually, affecting the wildlife, of course. This feels to be somewhere that's remote, making this disaster even more challenging for them to be able to clean it up. And also, and I feel like they're going to have to, when they find out, they'll have to shut off that little pipeline. I don't know where this is exactly. I was thinking it was here in the United States, but it may not be. I'm really not clear. It could even be up in Canada. But Spirit didn't really give me a targeted area. I just saw the vision of this pipe like busting. It almost felt sabotage, but then I thought if it was sabotaged with something that went boom, it would ignite on fire. And I didn't get that. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's still not possible for it to be sabotaged wherever this may be, but again, it felt remote. It felt really challenging to clean up. And it also is going to make these pipelines larger targets, ensuring the success of the sabotagers. Back to North Korea and South Korea. Kim Jong-un now states that North Korea will no longer seek reconciliation or reunification with South Korea. So why all of a sudden is Kim making this speech? It's kind of a little strange all of a sudden, right? Spirit also shows me that China is actually, of course, in Kim Jong-un's ear, helping them, pushing them, and, trying to gaslight them. That's the word I was looking for. And he is actually seeking conflict. It's just one of these things he's obsessed by. Kind of like he was obsessed by DT when they met. He's obsessed with being a part of a conflict, is what Spirit shows me, which isn't good. It definitely shows psychopathic tendencies without a doubt, but we already knew that. So he's going to do some real-time tests in the near future. We know that North Korea's been doing a lot of tests, but there's more real-time tests coming. When I say real-time tests, I mean he's testing it on somebody other than a test. Real-time. And they'll probably say, oh, it was an accident or whatever they'll try to claim, but it's no longer going to be a test. His short and long-range missile capabilities is what he's going to be using and utilizing. Now, some of this may not happen until 2025, but I feel like it's starting to ignite now. And Spirit shows me that North Korea has created a secret branch to their military, kind of like the Black Ops, that is trained to sabotage infrastructure and conduct secret attacks on the innocent. So let us, again, together, hold in the light that he does not unleash this secret branch of military into South Korea, which I strongly feel, with China's help, that North Korea already is setting up sleeper cells in South Korea, along with plans of conducting some type of small attacks to instill fear on the South Koreans. Spirit says he will fail. He will fail. Interesting, right? Very interesting. And I see one of his missiles misfiring and hitting South Korea, which could ignite a retaliation. Hopefully it just is one retaliation or none at all, because then that could be devastating. But that's what China wants too. China wants to take over everything. So if they can get you to fight with somebody else, why they go take whatever they want, wait till you're done and come and take you. You know, China's not no dummies. Speaking of conflict, you know, Netanyahu is now saying that the conflict that they're in Israel is America's conflict. And it probably literally is. And the Biden administration just sent thousands, 1,500 more troops to Syria and other parts of the Middle East. So really, the United States, it is United States conflict, or the United States is making it their conflict. It's awful, actually. Why don't we all have to have conflict? Why can't everybody just get along? Drives me crazy. So even though it's centered around Israel and all this, it's still he's saying it's America. It's all America. Because, you know, the Biden administration just sent, again, additional 1,500 troops to Syria. But why exactly? Why? Did you know that there's actually approximately 40,000 troops already, American troops, in the Middle East already? Why? Israel seems to be in full control of America for whatever reason, and the current administration seems to jump, like how high? When they say jump, the administration says how high, at all the demands that are coming from Israel. And soon this is going to become a huge target. United States is going to regret this, a very big time regret this. As well, Israel will regret the conflict of what's going on and their continued conflict instead of working on peace. Not that that's even potentially possible, but just saying. Spirit says it's all going to backfire in their faces. All of them. Including the opposing sides too, and the things that they're going to start to do. I see major conflict igniting along the Red Sea. And I've warned about the Red Sea and had visions of it over a year ago. And now we see that coming into reality. But Spirit showed me more igniting in the Red Sea, and I saw two ships. I wrote shits. Ships. P, not T, Spirit Man, P. I saw a vision of two ships. Where'd it go? I lost my spot now. Oh, how'd you go all the way down there? Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord, where'd it go? That's weird. Did I just, skip all the way to the bottom of the page? I did. Oh, Lord, help us. My vision of two ships at the Red Sea. I saw two ships being hit, actually, in the Red Sea. And one of those ships was sinking. And one of those ships looked like a military ship to me. And I saw a vision of a military ship taking fire from the coastline. The coastline of, I'm guessing, Yemen was shooting at this military ship. Big time missiles shooting at it. I don't believe they were all hitting, but maybe one does, because Spirit showed me two ships being hit, one being military related. I saw massive, and I do mean massive, boom booms, big boom booms all along the coastline. All along the coastline. I should have brought up a map because I am geographically challenged when it comes to that area of the globe. But yeah, all along the coastline, I'm guessing it's all Yemen because it's right at that tip, right at that tip and going up a little bit. So I don't know what else is there. I should have brought up a map. But it's going all up. So when you're going up, and somebody can tell me in the comments, I'm not going to pull up a map right now, but that little tip is Yemen. And right above Yemen, I see right along there, big boom explosions taking place along the coast, mostly in Yemen. And Spirit says, beware of the underwater, the submarine sneak attacks that are coming. Do not believe everything media will tell you. Several flags will soon fly ever so falsely. One accusing Russia, of course. They did it all. It's all them. One's going to be pointed towards them, and it will not be them, according to Spirit. And the other blaming a combination of Iran, Syria, and Yemen. Both are going to be complete lies. Beware. When countries deny their involvement, we must accept this as truth and accept it as these flags that Spirit's been warning will fly ever so falsely. When they do claim, then we know they did it. But if they don't claim responsibility and we don't see them claiming it, don't listen to the media. Oh, well, they claim responsibility. No, I want to see them claiming responsibility. I want to see video of them claiming. If we don't see that, then we know the truth. And that's the way Spirit showed me today. Speaking of flags and such flags, I see another flying around Poland and between Poland and Germany. Although I feel that there's 3 flags that are going to fly in all, and a fourth one too, but the fourth one's not going to be flown quite yet, according to Spirit. So I guess they're going to see how things go before they fly that one. And I've been telling you all for over a year that I see conflict igniting for Poland. I feel they will purposely be targeted deceptively to involve them more closely in conflict. Soon after, I would also imagine Germany will follow. A majority of such conflicts will ignite somewhat in late 2024, but mainly in 2025. 2025 will be the year in which we see a lot more happening in the world. Great conflict. Poland will likely blame Russia for missiles hitting their country, when in reality, the American-made missiles were coming from somewhere else, likely the NATO forces. And I also see big movements taking place with NATO forces and NATO surrounding and invading either a small town, small city. I couldn't really tell what it was. It wasn't a country. It was too small, but they were surrounding it, taking something over. Or attempting to, Spirit said, attempting to. I had a vision of 2 men, and I believe of Middle Eastern descent, with something big in the trunk of their vehicle, if you know what I mean. Boom, boom. They pass by the checks or whatever there is very easily, showing some kind of special ID that allowed them to pass some kind of point. Don't know. I can only tell you what I saw. Whatever that ID, it felt kind of shady, like, wow, how'd they get that ID? And they park their vehicle in a garage in Washington, D.C., in the garage of an important monument or building. They set a timer. They get out and they set some kind of timer. I see them push the button. They place baseball caps on their head with glasses on their faces to basically cover up what they look like. And they walk away. They just walk away like nothing. And something huge is going to blow in Washington, D.C. This may be later in the year again or early 2025, and it might actually be revolved right around the time of the inaugurations when people are very disappointed in what happens. Of course, they'll say it was somebody like, I don't know. They'll say something and blame it on Americans when we know it isn't. And if it is, it's the elite, the globalists. The Taiwan elections concluded with China being very disappointed with the results, and I'm surprised there was no interference, if you know what I mean. If they were so pushy on, China, made this warning to the people of Taiwan that you need to vote for peace and not vote for war. It's your choice to vote for one of the two. And apparently they did not choose what China wanted. Or is that really what China wanted? Maybe China didn't interfere because they purposely wanted a reason to, attack in the future. They apparently, again, they didn't choose peace, according to China. And I see sabotage of communication lines that are running into Taiwan from under the water. It reminds me of the whole Nordic pipeline thing that happened. But it's not a pipeline. It feels more like it's affecting communications. Of course, this will be a result of China and, sabotaging it in some way or another. And also a coming sneak attack in the early morning hours. This reminded me of a vision I had, I don't know how long ago. I get so much information, I can't keep up. I'm sure you can't keep up sometimes either. That's why you got to tune in every single Tuesday, friends. Every Tuesday. And before I move on, I want to thank again all my supporters for the chat cash and all the love and support that you bring to this channel that makes this possible. I get to do what I love to do, and I do it with infinite love and gratitude. Thank you so much. So coming sneak attack, I had these visions a while ago of coming in on the shores, attacking in the night, early morning hours. And I was reminded of that vision again today. So I would think that this would have something to do with Taiwan. I don't know when, but I believe that China is sitting back, waiting for America to dig itself deeper and deeper into the hole of debt and conflicts that aren't even our conflicts to fight. China knows America is after Russia and Iran both. And now Yemen and Syria on top of that. So they're waiting and they're sitting back, waiting for things to happen. And if America hopefully doesn't, I believe it will by next year, but hopefully not, America claims war soon after, within I'd say 3 to 6 months after that, is when China will declare it on Taiwan. Creepy, right? Why are they spraying our skies? Well, you might think it's a conspiracy. When I say chemtrails in the skies, many people will scream back it's a conspiracy. I've had many friends in the past say that until they went and did their own research and they're like, oh my God, you're right. Chemtrails is not really the name, that's the conspiracy name. The actual name of it is geoengineering, stratospheric aerosol injection. And there's other names too, like cloud seeding. But folks, even in the government, are still denying the existence of such plain spraying toxic chemicals that are forming these trails in the skies above our head. Even though, again, soil tests prove that what is said to be sprayed, barium, aluminum, and I always forget what the other one is, are at high amounts in the soils and in the waters, especially within days after these things are seen in the sky. So what's that all about? It's not natural for high amounts of barium and aluminum to be both in the water and in the soil samples. How'd it get there? Right? How did it get there? It's not natural. It's not supposed to be there natural. I keep hitting this thing, sorry. Not natural at all. And they're denying it. And so what they allegedly are spraying. So if this is really all conspiracy, friend, then trails covering our skies are nothing more than contrails. And then why, answer this question, did the government admit to it already? I'm not going to show you the whole clip, but I'm going to show you this short clip right here of the former head of the CIA telling you exactly what they do.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do.
Now, if that there clip right there isn't in your face enough with the evidence to prove that such practices are happening in our skies, well, then let's take a step back a few decades, shall we? And see where this kind of first started. When they first started screwing around with our skies and most importantly, screwing around with our weather patterns. And again, if you believe it's all conspiracy and you don't believe it, well, listen to a former president tell you exactly what they were planning on doing decades ago. Check it out.
The foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world.
If it is a conspiracy still in your mind or the minds of the sleepers, then why the heck has one state and many countries already have banned the whole practice of these aerosol injections and cloud seeding? Like Peru, like I said, it didn't exist when I was in Peru at all whatsoever. So also, why is another state banding together to ban the whole chemtrail spraying conspiracy, right? Not only are they banding together to stop the pollution of our skies, but it also, that pollution in turn affects our immune systems. So of course, if you believe the internet and sites like PolitiFacts, you're going to continue to walk around believing that these are not chemicals, but nothing more than contrails. That there are absolutely no chemicals falling from the skies, while continuing to scream conspiracy over and over and over again to people who know the truth. Even though there's enough evidence that points and proves directly that this is happening and has been happening for quite some time. As a matter of fact, just last week, I was walking through town. I went down to Sedona, and I was in town, and I happened to not only witness where the planes were taking off from, I also witnessed as they were taking off, they were testing it to see if it was working. So, they'll spray a little bit, stop, spray a little bit. That ain't no contrail. And they were doing it as they were taking off. Contrails are supposed to be from the atmosphere in the sky at a certain altitude, right? Then why is in this picture you see they were taking off? I even sent the picture to my friend down in Cottonwood to see if he knew where they were taking off from, because it was between where I was looking in that picture was towards Cottonwood, Arizona. So they were testing their sprays. And look, this is what PolitiFacts will tell you. And these fact checkers that we all know. We know. I don't even need to say it. A claim that the U.S. government is spraying toxic brew of chemicals from airplanes is a conspiracy. So-called chemtrails are not real, according to the atmospheric chemists and geochemists. They call it geoengineering. Hello. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says it is not aware of any deliberate release of chemicals or biological agents into the atmosphere. And the U.S. Air Force says the theory is all just a hoax, a conspiracy theory about the cloud-like plumes and the trail behind airplanes, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even going to read it. It just makes me want to vomit. Moving right along, because right here, the first state of all to actually start to pull together to ban these chemtrails started last year. Texas becomes the first state to potentially, because it hasn't happened yet, potentially outlaw chemtrails. Texas is set to become the first state to potentially outlaw the spraying of aerosol particle matter into the skies, a phenomenon commonly referred to as chemtrails. In a new petition, the group Clean Skies Texas is collecting signatures to ask state representatives to pass laws banning dangerous atmospheric aerosol spraying without prior approval and testing of the chemicals being sprayed. I hate to tell you, friends in Texas, they're going to keep spraying. There ain't nothing you're going to do to stop them. It would have to be all of us coming together to make it stop. And maybe that's happening, because now New Hampshire's following suit. And New Hampshire's new legislative bill is kind of creepy. A new bill bans not only chemtrails over New Hampshire, weather modification, stratospheric aerosol injection, solar radiation modification. Like, what the heck is that? And geoengineering. But it's all a hoax, right? Last month, the Republican legislature in New Hampshire introduced a bill that would ban the intentional release of chemicals into the air. The legislation, called the Clean Atmospheric Preservation Act, prohibits the intentional release of polluting emissions, including cloud seeding, weather modification, excessive electromagnetic radio frequencies, and microwave radiation, and making penalties for the violation of such prohibition. Yes, go New Hampshire, baby, go New Hampshire. Oh, but it's just a conspiracy, y'all. It's not real. No, it's not real. I saw a vision in the past, but Spirit reminds me today that at least one of these planes that contain the aerosol injection equipment on them will be downed and exposed. The crash will be caused actually from the faulty equipment, the faulty chemtrail spraying or whatever the equipment they use, aerosol injection. And the story will quickly be covered up. I remember that. So I would expect if Spirit reminded me of that today, we must be upon that happening in the near future. And you know my prediction about things falling from the sky and the skies and airplanes and all. It makes sense that this year could be the year it would happen. I also see several guys sneaking into a facility where the planes are held and where they take flight from. They catch so much on video before being caught and arrested. Maybe it's the same guys that go into the tunnels. Maybe. No, maybe not, Spirit said. So I see these people. They are catching it on video before being caught and arrested for trespassing. But not before the footage actually gets out to millions of people on social media, to these social media viewers. I believe that these people, I think there's two of them, may actually be streaming live when they do it, which would be a smart thing to do. Especially if you're trespassing, stream live, just make sure so that they can't arrest you and delete the footage. So hurry and download the footage if you happen to see it online, friends, before officials work hard to scrub the footage from the internet completely and making it appear like a hoax and another conspiracy. Although this event will wake up many, many more people. And it's not just the United States fighting against geoengineering practices. Our friends down under in Australia they are also joining the fight as well. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We need more people to join the fight. Take a listen to this woman from Australia. I want you to hear her. Check her out.
Global leaders, World Economic Forum, UN, presidents, prime ministers, senators, and congresspeople. We gotcha. We gotcha. On the website of one of your contractors. Go to australianrain.com.au. Geoengineering by Matt Hanbury, the nephew of Rupert Murdoch, his sister's son, who owns a geoengineering company. And on their website, as they're busy spraying Australia, it states clearly that they're geoengineering, they're spraying into the Australian atmosphere, increases carbon uptake in vegetation by 50%. That's one of their selling points. I'm sorry, Scott Morrison and Anthony Albanese. What happened to net zero? And we need digital IDs and central bank digital currency and to get rid of our cars and go electric, and we're killing the planet with our carbon. What happened to net zero when you are chemtrailing, rainmaking to increase carbon uptake in vegetation in Australia? You people are insane. I'm embarrassed for you. The emperor has no clothes on. We can see that you're liars. We always knew that you're liars. And now we can see it clearly on the website of someone you're contracting and paying with our tax dollars. You should all be fired. You should all lose your jobs. You're an utter disgrace, and you're lying about the climate. Fire them all.
Isn't she awesome? I just love that little clip, and I don't know who she is, but she's from down under, and I am so glad that we had that little footage. And look at the website that she mentioned in that website as well, in that little clip. So this is all just a small sample that's proving that the world is waking up, friends, to the truth. People are going to continue to rise up against the dark, evil, and toxic practices such as geoengineering. People will continue to rise up in 2024. And it's going to be a very, very turbulent year in 2024. But unfortunately, many people need a lot of heavy turbulence to shake the heck out of them so that they can wake up from the deep sleep that they have been in. Hallelujah, wake up. In the morning I'll wake up. Moving right along. is shaking under my feet. And speaking of the earth shaking, if you haven't noticed, things are kind of starting to ignite a little bit more around earthquake activity, especially in Oklahoma. Down there in Oklahoma, they just had a swarm of earthquake activity. And places like Oklahoma is a place where they've been doing a lot of digging and a lot of fracking over the past few decades. There's more holes in the friggin' ground in Oklahoma than there is on the entire moon. That's how bad it is. This, actually, a lot of people don't realize that crude oil acts as lube for the plates and the plate movements. So, like your car, when there's no oil in the gears, they start to grind, right? So that's what happens with the earthquakes and the plates. When the plates are moving, even just the slightest little shift, it's grinding because there's no oil there to lube and make that slide well. And that's a fact. And that's why our friends in Oklahoma need to beware, because these little ones are going to lead to a very big one. Right in or outside of Oklahoma City. I don't know when, but Spirit just told me that. It's not even in my notes. So Oklahoma's swarm of earthquakes. Not only that, remember I predicted that there'd be a small quake in New York City, and there was, about 2-3 weeks ago? And Spirit says that there will be 3 shakings coming to the east coast of the United States. All pretty small, but one of them definitely is shaking things off shelves. I think the one that's shaking, the bigger one that shakes stuff off shelves, is going to be in the Carolinas, like South Carolina, North Carolina, somewhere in there. That's my feeling. We'll have to see what happens. Nothing big though, thankfully. And remember that 7.6 quake that hit Japan right as the new year kicked in? You know, experts have now discovered that Japan has actually moved. The coast of Japan moved. Well, that's the plate. You know, if you got a plate like this and it kind of falls over, yeah, of course it's going to move. And that plate moved, 100%, no doubt. And Spirit just said it's going to move again. So the 7.6 magnitude quake that struck Japan on the first day of 2024 has shifted the coastline in certain areas as much as 656 feet. Wow, 10 more feet, and that would have been really creepy, right? 666 feet? Oh, we'd say the devil did it. But it's 656 feet. Maybe they're off by 10 feet. The differences between the coastline before and after the earthquake have been captured by satellite images and have been confirmed by preliminary field tests. The powerful earthquake hit north central Japan at 4:10 local time and was the strongest earthquake in the region in the last 4 decades. Yeah, we know all that already. But isn't that interesting that it literally shifted the entire coastline? And you know, I talked about this. I did a live yesterday Q&A, random live Q&A. And I have another segment I'm going to be doing tomorrow called Stranger Things Are Happening. Can't wait. I got cool, wild footage to show you and analyze with you. And I'm going to be doing that every week. I'm going to set up an email where you can send clips to be analyzed as well. I haven't done that yet. But catch me tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe down below. Hey, thank you for clicking that like button because I love you. So someone said in that live, in the comments, oh, the poles aren't shifting. That's a hoax. No, you are less than smart and uneducated. Educate yourself. It's moving 7% or 7 miles per year or something like that. And it's moving more and more. So why is it moving? Could this potentially have something to do with the planet Apophis? Or not the planet, the comet Apophis. Now, if you don't know what that is or haven't heard of Apophis, it's coming on all days, Friday the 13th. April 13th, to be exact, 2029. This is 100% the Hopi prophecy in my belief. I did a video on it. I'll make sure a link pops up here at some point. And in that video, I talk about that date. I talk about the Hopi prophecy. I also talk about in the Hopi prophecy, they talk about the Hopis say that there's going to be portals that open. And through those portals will enter demons and fallen angels. So is that what happened? You know, people say the aliens that landed in Miami, the portal that opened, and what people believe about that. And then they believe it's interdimensional beings and they're good. I wouldn't be so counting on that. Because again, if we look at the Hopi prophecy says portals will open and dark entities will enter the earth. Our cities will become people that are zombies. That's happening. People are zombies. They're zombied on their phones or they're zombied on fentanyl. And so it's happening. So the Hopi were right. So when you see portals open, don't bet that they're aliens, friends. Bet that they're probably fallen angels and demonic energies. Unless you see them land, and even if you do see them land from the sky, that's different. But when they're coming through different portals and dimensions, and we know that CERN they've been using CERN to open up portals. Just a little reminder from the spirits, friend. So is Japan really moving? Yeah, of course it is. And is it going to slide into the sea like the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce stated? Because Edgar Cayce said that Japan would fall into the sea when the poles shift. Luckily, unfortunately, it's not all going to be playing out as severely as many believed or many have thought. I don't know why, but something shifted according to spirit. The poles are definitely shifting, no doubt, 100%. And they are going to do a flip. But it's not going to be it's not going to be great either, but it's not going to be as severe as the last one, Spirit said. As the last one. When was that? A long time ago, they say. Well, I knew that. Smart Alex. Smart Alex spirits, at least they got a sense of humor, right? So it's happening. And that date, remember the visions I just had for 2024 predictions where I saw people outside looking up at the sky? Now, I just made that prediction on the 1st. Sometimes things take 2 to 3 years. What year we're in? 2024? That'd be 2027. So no, that's got to be something else. But it makes me think of that because everybody will be outside looking at Apophis when it comes. And here's the other thing, Apophis and what the Hopi and other prophecies say, that as this comet and the planet that's behind it, the red star planet, that's in my video, again, make sure you watch it. You're not going to want to miss that one. It's important. And that Apophis is going to come right next to our planet Earth. It's going to swing around the sun and come back again in 2032. So we get 2 hits with that. And they say one way or another, we're going to be affected, and we are. And this is what actually is responsible for a lot of the shifting of the earth. 100% happens every so many thousands of years. And again, go watch the video. You will know more about it and the details about it. I say don't worry about it. And my friends in Japan, don't worry. Go to higher ground, Spirit says. Go to higher ground. And not yet. You got time. You got many years. There's many other things to worry about before we even think about that. So just have it in the back of your mind, and higher ground would always, of course, be the best thing to do, especially if we had massive floods like the great flood that we hear about in prophecy and in the Bible. So higher ground. And again, people call me constantly, where do I need to move my family? We need to go to a safe zone. Well, I did another video called Billionaire Bunkers and Safe Zones that talks about all the different maps that have been channeled through by different prophets and such, including one that's allegedly from the U.S. Navy that shows what it's going to look like, the planet after the whole flipping of the poles occurs. So if you want to know safe zones and things like that, check out that video, Billionaire Bunkers. I'll make sure a link pops up above. But I say don't worry about it at all because your soul contract is very, very complex. And wherever you are is where you need to be whenever anything happens. And you can only work on yourself, connecting with the earth and spiritually ascending through meditation practices and being kind to others, of course. So Japan is moving, no doubt about it. It's just been proven. I'm not worried about Japan as far as it going into the water soon, but I am concerned that Japan will be the one that receives the big tsunami that I've been having visions of. I don't know if it's Japan. Actually, I was really pulled to Indonesia and that area of the globe. But Spirit showed me, let me see if I have my map open still. I don't think I do. Oh, I do. Perfect. So yeah, I'm going to say like, I had a dream. I climbed the mountain and I saw a big flood. But actually what I saw in my dream, and I don't know if I was a dream or it was a vision. I was like half in the sleep and half out of sleep. And it's like I jumped like as if I was there and a part of it. And I saw out in the water, the whole water started to rise. It was really weird. It's like all of a sudden, like I'm standing on the beach and I could see it rise as I feel the earth beneath me shaking. violently, actually. And then I just see it rise and rise, and then it starts coming in all directions. Of course, like a ripple effect. It rises and goes in all directions, but I feel like it's almost, how do I explain it? It's like one side of this ripple tsunami dies out quickly, or it goes far away and dies out by the time it hits shore. But 3/4 of it's hitting several different areas. And I'm believing that part of that will be right there in the Pacific Ocean, right around Indonesia and between Indonesia and Japan. And I believe Hawaii will feel a ripple effect of those waves pretty high. When do I believe this is going to happen? I'm not clear. I'm trying to get information. It might be the summer months. And that actually may be during one of the energy shift cycles. So the next one we have coming up is in April. So April would be a time to look for great activity with earthquakes and so much more. I haven't had time to do a weather video for 2024, warning certain areas and all, but I will do that as soon as I get the chance. A little busy right about this time of year. Also, I keep getting a warning for our friends in Italy because I feel like a big shaking is coming to Italy and Greece in the near future. And that might be the location for the next really big one. So keep an eye out for that, and that just came to me. I also had visions of avalanches and things occurring, and you saw what happened at Lake Tahoe with that avalanche. Spirit says this is going to become a common thing this season and next season too, because winter has only just begun, friends. There's severe, serious winter weather that's coming our way. And I didn't get to finish my notes, and that's as far as I got, so let me go back. So Trump won in Iowa. And likely, if they don't take him out, like I told you, they are going to attempt to do. And they may succeed, but I don't think they will. Then he will take it. And I think that's part of the plan, quite honestly, in my opinion. The world plan or whatever, because unfortunately, they want him to go in there. They being the elite, because they believe putting Trump in there will bring so much chaos to the United States that it'll bring upon the civil disobedience amongst people and the splitting apart of the United States into 4 different unions the way they want it to be. And remember, I did videos on this on the book, Baron Trump's Marvelous Adventure, written in 1897, and then the other book, 1902, The Last President. And it just all seems to match. And it would all make sense. And I hope that's not what happens. Literally what I hope happens is some miracle happens and somebody amazing comes into the race and takes the whole thing and does positive for the world. Because I don't see any of those people, any of those candidates being good at all. None of them. They're all just a part of that web of darkness. We need somebody to come in out of nowhere and take it all. And there will be somebody that comes in out of nowhere on the Democratic side, of course. And I believe that they're going to pick somebody like a celebrity against a celebrity, like a reality show. Trump was a reality show guy, and now they're going to bring in another one. Maybe they'll bring in Oprah. But Spirit's not giving me. There's many on the table, Spirit says. Many on the table. Negotiations are happening. I would expect somebody to step into the race probably with it by soon. February, March at the latest. I don't know how long they have. I don't know nothing about that. Don't really follow it. Just telling you what the spirits are telling me. But overall, right now, and Spirit says many things can still change. So as of now, yeah, he'll win. DT will win. But many things and many plans of both dark and light that can shift things in many different directions. Again, we together should hold in the light that a different candidate comes into it. Because everybody's just, they're too controversial. They just need to go. We need somebody new and fresh that's amazing to come in. Preferably a woman, in my opinion. That's all light. Not that they'll let that person win, but we have the power. We, again, our thoughts and words are the blueprints to the future. We can together focus a vision and we can make it happen in our reality, in our world. Maybe other people's worlds are different, but ours don't need to. What else did I tell you? I wanted to tell you about today. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, the cars plowing through people. That's so sad. That happened in Israel, and I think it was 2 vehicles that were carjacked, actually, and then they used those vehicles to plow into innocent people. That is just so psychopathic, demented, and sad. And it claimed the life of one elderly woman that, as far as I know, and injured at least 7 others. last I heard. And unfortunately, yeah, they're going to do that. But not only are they going to use vehicles that just randomly plow into people, but they're going to use vehicles as booms, boom booms, boom booms. We're going to see this in New York City in the near future. I don't know about the boom boom, but the plowing into people. We'll see this in Los Angeles, California. Of course, more overseas throughout. And even an incident in the UK of a vehicle. That may be just an accident, though, but I see a vehicle SUV going off the road and into a group of people, like as if it's a parade or some kind of, like everybody's watching for something. I don't know what it is. But Spirit's showing me that now. Now, they're claiming that 1,500 lives a day are being claimed in the United States from the bug and respiratory issues and respiratory ailments or whatever. And did you know that the WEF just did another one of their creepy Davos meetings? And last meeting, they were warning about this great cyber attack that was coming. That's their plan, no doubt about it. And now they're warning about disease X. Why X? We know who's obsessed by the letter X, right? Elon Musk. X, the X platform, SpaceX, and now disease X. I spoke briefly about this before because I feel like I have deja vu. And that's their push. And there will be big outbreaks, sadly, especially amongst those refugees that are victims from Palestine and other refugee camps. There's going to be big outbreaks, and one of them they make me feel is being intentionally placed within one of these camps through something. There will also be an outbreak in Africa come early summer that may have people in a panic. But Spirit says, don't panic. Stay safe, be mindful. So what are they doing? What comes first, the cyber attack or the X? Or do they both come at the same time? Or does X come first and the other one come second? And I don't even believe they even know. I don't think they're sure yet. They have to see how things go and if they can eliminate those they wish to eliminate. I'm going to say as of now, it's going to be the big major cyber attack that comes first because they want to take out the banking system and put in their own cryptocurrencies in their own system. Another thing we must resist, even though people won't, especially when they start to do the government starts to offer you money every month to sit on your butt. They'll be doing that soon. By next year in certain countries, you're going to see that. A universal income for people. That is not going to work. Spirit says that ain't going to work. Not going to last at all. And it'll just make the lazy even more lazy. And we don't need any more lazier people. We need people that are ready to fight, to take our power back and take our world and planet back. Speaking of taking it back, did you see that guy? Oh, wait, cartel wars. Check out this little clip right here. This is, I forget what country this is. Is it not Mexico? Oh, God, I can't think. Colombia, maybe? Colombia? And these are cartel warriors. Remember, I predicted there'd be major cartel wars occurring. Well, they are now starting to occur. These cartel wars are going to spread into other countries, including the borders of the United States. We're going to see, and I've had visions of this before. I told you there would be conflict on the borders of the United States down towards Mexico. And that conflict felt to me to be with the cartel, not with the Mexican government, even though it's all the same. So I thought that was really interesting. So we are seeing these cartel. The cartel will fall, said Spirit, eventually. Eventually. That probably won't be until we're in the new earth. Speaking of other wild new earth things, or not even new earth, Guy Fieri, the chef, the chef, he does that show. I don't watch TV. I can't think of the name of the show where he goes to diners or whatever. He's been on many shows. You know who he is. Well, he owns many restaurants. And it just so happened that Whoopi Goldberg went into one of his restaurants and he escorted her out. I guess he don't like her, obviously. Now, I don't know if they had some kind of run-in in the past, and that's why, maybe they had something. But if not, personally, I don't like her at all. But I find that if that was my restaurant and she came in to eat, unless I had a personal grudge one-on-one with her or an argument in the past, I would take her money. I'd take her money. And then after she was done eating, I'd go up and tell her how I feel about her. But no, I wouldn't throw her out. I find that to be very unprofessional. Just that's my personal opinion. I don't know the exact circumstances, but I read about it, and I just read that happened, that title. You know, he threw her out of the restaurant. I didn't read the article or anything. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Very interesting. I mean, it's obvious that people don't like people, but you're a restaurant owner. The restaurant's open to the public. Unless she did something awful to you, they're really technically just take her money and be glad to take her damn money. Be like, I got your money, woman.
Now, time for my favorite segment. You've got mail, and I've got packages and presents to share with all of you, and it makes me so happy.
Starting with this one. It comes from Terry in Carmichael, California. Carmichael, California. Everybody's gone surfing. Surfing USA. That's a pretty card. And lilies, I have these out front. Not lilies. Oh, shoot. Money falling out of that card. Thank you. Hello, sweet Joseph. I have watched you since your early days of New Year's predictions when your hair was more blonde than brown. It's gray, actually, now. You just can't see it. You have come a long way since then. I was guided to find you again a few years back. Thank goodness. Thank God, she said, actually. You have eased me through our turbulent times. I so look forward to Tuesday Tittle Tea Time. I now have my husband watching with me. I love that y'all got your hubbies watching now. And hey, some of the hubbies got their hubbies watching. So thank you so much, Terry, for this card and for your generous donation. I greatly appreciate it. With infinite love and gratitude. I have 2 boxes here, and I know there's more in my P.O. box down there, but I just haven't had a chance to go down to the P.O. box. I have so much going on. Where'd this one come from? This one comes from no return address. That's where it comes from. No return address. What did I just do with those scissors I just had in my hands? There they are. So, y'all planning any nice vacations for the holidays this year? I am going to be taking you all to the Gem and Mineral Show in February. I'm going to take you live and show you the amazing crystals and things that are there at the Gem and Mineral Show. Second week of February. Dear Joseph, a gift for yours to give to your veterinarian who was loving, helpful, and had to put down precious Mary Jean. My condolences to you and all who love her too. Please be with you and her. Something fun for you and hope we all love very much. I need to get my eyes checked, even though it's really bright red. I think it's the bright redness. And what do we got here? Tea time, love. It's tea time. Would you like a biscuit? Oh, I don't want to break it. Man, this baby's wrapped. Big time. Hope. Oh, that is cute. Look at that. Hope. Hope. For there is hope for all of us in this world, my beautiful friends. And that is from C. Joni. I show it to you. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. With infinite love and gratitude. One more here to go. And this one's from... Does that say Sylvia? It's all blurred. It got wet, I guess. Or smeared. It got smeared. Let's see. God, that smells good. I smell lavender, I think. Lavender, I believe I can fly. Peace. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Dear Joseph, today is Mary Jean's birthday. I made this t-shirt in her memory. I am so sorry for your loss. God, I need... Shada? Did I say that right? Y'all see. I think that says Shada. The Apache Prayer. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. That's long, I can't read all that. Sheila, I'm sorry. Sheila, thank you, Sheila. What do we got in here, Sheila? Something smells really good and strong. This is soaps. I smell it. I bet it is. Wait, somebody just sent me this. Same thing. Oh, okay, there's not a black one. I thought there was going to be a black one. Naked soap. This naked soap must be very popular. Must be very popular. It's popular. Oh my God, it's a mess in here now. I gotta hurry up and upload this. This is going to be so late today. Let's see. This shirt. Oh, look. Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. That is kind of really awesome. I hope it fits me. It will soon if it doesn't now, because I go to the gym every day. Thank you, Sheila, and thank you, everybody, and thank you so much for your kindness. There is more stuff in my P.O. box. We'll check that out next week. My information's down below in the description. Again, I thank you with infinite, infinite love and gratitude. And with that, anything else that I forgot? I don't think so. Remember to join me tomorrow as I present Stranger Things Are Happening. It's going to be fun hanging out with you. It'll give us 2 things a week once I get enough content to be able to do that twice a week. So until the next time, beautiful friends, remember to celebrate life, celebrate you. Be kind to others as you wish others be kind to you, and be bold, baby. Be true. Be kind. Be you. Why? Because you're amazing, of course. Until the next time, beautiful friends, have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste and much love.